Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. This is Hour 2, and we're going to spend some time with Felicia Stoler. I need to correct myself, Dr. Felicia Stoler. She has a doctorate in nutrition, right?
Yes, in clinical nutrition.
In clinical nutrition, that's good. And wait till you see her picture, hubba hubba. She has a new book called Living Skinny in Fat Genes. Felicia, Dr. Stoler, welcome to Late Night Health. I'm curious, what is the newest information you have so that I can drop 25 pounds fast and healthy?
Well, the newest information is old information. How about that?
Push yourself away from the table, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Push away. And you know, you said something really key, 25 pounds fast. I think fast is the big problem that we have. We live in an instant gratification culture, and the notion of rapid weight loss is not really the healthiest way to lose weight, and B, the most effective way to keep weight off over the long haul, because our body, we talk about having this brain weight, which is basically our set point theory, where our body wants to be, where it feels comfortable as far as our weight goes. And so we set ourselves up for failure, essentially, when we try to do some, fad diet, which I like to think of as a fast-acting diet. And diet meaning, did I eat that, right? So when we set ourselves up for failure like that, that can be problematic. But, there are some ways to bypass that.
At the same time, you have a statistic, and I've heard it's even higher than the statistic you give, that 41% of dieters gain back their weight plus
more
in 5 years. Yeah, more. If they've lost 20 pounds, they gain 30 pounds.
Right. So there's something called the National Weight Loss Registry, which is literally a group of people who are considered the biggest losers before there was that TV show. And what they looked at, what they had in common, for people to keep their weight off, is that people that keep their weight off monitor their physical activity. They do some physical activity every day. They monitor how many calories they consume, which is not about, being obsessive about it by any stretch of the imagination. They eat a moderate protein, lower fat diet. They drink a lot of water, and they don't avoid any food groups. They don't deprive themselves of things. So, I think when you look at that, even if you look, I know I was poking fun of the show The Biggest Loser. If you look at most of those folks, there's some dirty statistic that 85% of those participants gain the weight back. So
and
that's not
faster than
if they're gaining their weight back.
And faster than 5 years they gain that weight back, right?
Right. So the National Weight Loss Registry are people that have lost 25 pounds or more and kept it off for at least 5 years. So, if you look at that, how do people help to keep the weight off? It's about a lifestyle. It's not so much about, putting yourself on and off of starvation diets, because we know that those fail.
Were you ever fat yourself?
I was overweight. How's that?
Okay.
Maybe my version of fat is somebody else's version of overweight, and let's not forget that I've had 2 children, so I've definitely gained pregnancy weight with each of my children, but I've done what medicine and what the literature and the community suggests, is to get the weight back down. It's not okay to gain 5 pounds per kid. It's not, and I've explained to my mom, it's not okay for every year of your life to gain an extra pound and keep that on. So to me, it's about living an active lifestyle and literally practicing what I preach.
The picture I'm passing over to Daryl on the back of your book. And that's after 2 kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way after 2 kids.
Way after 2 kids.
Way after 2 kids.
When I think I said this already in this show, when I graduated high school, I weighed 118 pounds, and then when I got married, I weighed 118 pounds. I no longer weigh 118 pounds, yet my wife weighs at or less than what she weighed before 2 kids and before we got married.
Right.
I'd like to say,
my body weight, with limited exception, has maintained within, a 5-pound range, as I like to explain to people, a 5 to maybe 8-pound range. Doesn't affect the clothing that I wear. I'm still the same size regardless. And as I've gotten older, a lot of that really is about water and, hormones and all that fun stuff. So
I'd like to say that I'm the right weight, but at 6'2", I'm way too short.
I love that.
According to the chart, I need to grow another foot.
I
I'm still
found
waiting to grow 2 more inches just because, I'd like to be 5'6", but that's just never going to happen.
Right. I just went to the doctor, and he told me you're not overweight. He said, you're right on. He said, you
great.
just need to reproportion your weight.
That's
the E word
your
there.
weight, yeah.
Did you have a question, Jane?
Yeah, Felicia, I was wondering, do you recommend journaling? Writing down your foods that you're intaking on a daily basis just to kind of reset that lifestyle that you were talking about? Is that one of the ways to get...
Well, I think journaling can be very helpful for people. That's what I actually have clients do in my private practice. I ask that they submit a 5-day food journal to me in advance of having a session so I can actually look at what their usual food intake habits are, because we know that recall is not always accurate or reliable. So to actually write down what you're eating, and it's amazing sometimes the comments that people have made because they don't realize what they're actually putting into their mouths every day. So whether it be beverages,
true.
whether it be foods,
especially
really
especially if
calories, it makes you very accountable.
Especially if you're a mom and you're cooking and you're snacking and you're making the lunch and you're tasting and...
Hello, how many of us moms eat or finish our kids' food off their plate?
Yeah, there's that
exactly.
too.
Exactly. What about exercise? You're also an exercise physiologist. This is the hardest thing for me to do. I've got an ad for a local gym. Join the gym for $19, and it's $19 or $13 a month.
I got one better for you. Planet Fitness is around the country. It's $9.99 a month. For $10 a month, you can't beat that. Whether you go or you don't go, you can't beat it, right? $120 for the year.
But if you don't go, then your wife has to yell at you that you're wasting money.
Well, I still think as long as it's something that's, somewhat affordable, it's okay. You don't have to feel. It's not about invoking guilt in people or making them do something. That's why, even though I know that we use the term exercise, and there's this whole initiative called Exercise is Medicine,
right?
That's from the American College of Sports Medicine and the American Medical Association and the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. But it's really about people understanding they need to be more physically active, because what research is now showing and what we know is that sitting has become the new smoking. So even if you work out for 1 hour a day and you go to a gym, if you still sit on your rear end at a job for 8 hours, that's not good. You need to get up. We're seeing more of these Very desks, these standing desks. Some offices have Trek desks where there's like a treadmill and at a workstation where you're actually doing that. I've been to conferences where they invite people to stand up, and it's not about being rude. It's about standing in the back of a room. Let's say they have set up some high top tables, some little banquet tables, and you can stand there and pay attention to the conference, because we know that sitting is not good. I sometimes even take my patients out of the office instead of sitting in my counseling office. We go for a walk in a park or around the block just to take the conversation outside.
Okay, I'm going to stand up right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. All right, I'm up.
Gina's up. I'm curious about this week that we are recording the show is a religious holiday for Jewish people, and they have a fast day.
Right.
How does fasting work with losing weight? Is that a good idea or not?
Well, actually, there are a lot of religions. We know that, like, Ramadan is about fasting as well. So I want to make sure I hit everybody's, fasting holidays. I'm not sure if in Christianity or Catholicism there's any fasting days that go on. There's a whole diet plan called intermittent fasting, where people eat between certain hours. The challenge with fasting, and, we could just talk about this, people that are food insecure that sometimes don't have a choice in fasting, but they do. Food insecurity and not eating, regular calories on a regular basis can lead to the metabolism slowing down a little bit, which can be tricky for some people. And, I have patients that sometimes only eat 1 or 2 meals a day, and that can be problematic because on an intellectual level, you may know that you're going to eat again, but on a cellular level, your body does not always know that it's getting more calories, like maybe in a few hours. So it's not a weight loss strategy. I do understand why people do it. I do understand for different reasons why people do it. However, in terms of helping people to lose weight, it is not advised to skip meals. It is not, that's really more of what the Mediterranean lifestyle is about. It's about like not skipping meals, eating foods in moderation, moving more, not being as sort of obsessive or rules-oriented with the foods that you eat. So,
and in restaurants, and especially in higher-end restaurants, the idea of small plates, I think, is really a great idea, because you get a little taste of this and that. You may want more of it. You can't have it. You got to move on to the next course.
Well, people just get upset, though, because they look at value for their dollar. So, nobody wants to pay a lot of money for not a lot of food. That's just the way we've become, because food is relatively inexpensive in this country. So, when you go to the movie theater, how many people are like, well, for an extra 99 cents, look at that, like, jumbo bucket of popcorn, and that's like, an extra 1,000 calories at no real cost to you.
Exactly.
But what's going to go on your waistline?
Well, as my son is a chef who specializes in small plates, spend as much money as you can at your local restaurant. Our guest is the author of Living Skinny in Fat Genes, Genes. We're going to talk about genetic predisposition when we come back. Her name is Dr. Felicia Stoler. I hope she's having as good a time as we are. More coming up. By the way, join us at latenighthealth.com and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/latenighthealth. We'll be back. Don't go away.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Are you being audited, and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate a lower tax bill. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will fight for you using industry secrets that can stop any IRS actions, eliminate penalties and interest, and reduce your past tax bill so you pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor now for a free IRS audit emergency review.
800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. That's 800-663-5107.